friends, welcome back. Here is our next case study from CA Final Paper 3 ICA booklet on MCQs and case-based scenarios. Case study number 25. Sankalp Edible Oil Limited is a private company which has a business of manufacturing cooking oil. The company is in this particular business since last 25 years. The financial results of the company for the previous year ending on 31st of March 2020 is as follows. So it has been given to us aggregate outstanding loans, debentures and deposits, turnover of the company, paid up capital of the company and net profit after the tax of company in crores. Okay. For the year 1920, Messrs. Agam and Associates were the auditors of the company. The auditors found out significant deficiencies in internal control and misrepresentation of amounts in the area of trade payables. Therefore, auditor issued qualified audit report. Next year, management did not wish to reappoint the same auditors and hence Board of Directors recommended Ms. Angi as a statutory auditor for financial year 2021 to the members of the company. After appointment, Ms. Angi went through various previous years' financial statements, audit reports, etc. and emphasized the understatement of trade payable balance has a significant audit risk. Auditor set the materiality at 15 lakhs for conducting audit for the year 2021. Further, Ms. Angi is in the process to select the samples for testing so as to get the samples on which vendor balance reconciliations can be performed. She is considering the following for the same. Major vendors with the confirmation balances agrees to the general ledger. Vendors which have high volume of business with Sankalp Edible Oil Limited. Vendors with balances of 15 lakhs or more during the outstanding at the end of the year. Vendors with balances 15 lakhs or less outstanding at the end of the year. So, do you think that all these four are required? Because Ms. Angi wants to test the balances of trade payables, right? So, if there is a agreement between the confirmations and the general ledger balance, then why do you need to perform any additional procedures? So if any external confirmation is agreeing with your existing book balance, then there is no chances of getting deeper into it because everything is already matching. The even books are matching with the external confirmations that we have received from our suppliers. Therefore, the first point, major vendors where the confirmation balances agrees to the general ledger is not that effective, because if they are already confirming with the general ledger balances, then what is the need to reperform the calculation? So Ms. Angi has to select from 2, 3 and 4 points. It means balances, all the balances of vendors outstanding at the year end, and also the vendors having high volumes of business with Sankalp Edible Oil Limited. So these three will help her to identify where the trade payables have been understated and where are those errors that have been occurred in the previous year. Okay. As at 31st of March 2021, the balance of two vendor as per the company's general ledger and the balance as per external confirmation which were received from vendors are as under. So vendor name Suchi Groundnut Seeds Limited. We have a book balance of 15 lakhs, but the external confirmation balance is 20 lakhs. So there existed a difference of 5 lakhs. So we need to identify why this 5 lakhs came into picture. Why this difference came into picture. And the second vendor name is Nishi Sunflower Seeds Limited. We have a book balance of 65 lakhs, whereas the external confirmation balance is 80 lakhs. Suchi Groundnut Seeds Limited. So why this difference came into picture, that is what explaining here. The difference in the balance is due to one of the order received by the company. This order is under dispute as the company claims that the received raw material is of substandard quality. The consignment received was sent back to the vendor on 30th of March 2021. So because of the dispute, this Sankalp Edible Oil Limited is not considering this amount of 5 lakhs. Okay. And what about Nishi Sunflower Seeds Limited? The difference in the balance is due to the reason of two invoices, 10 lakhs and 5 lakhs, dated 25th of March and 27th of March 2021 respectively. As per the account payables executive, both the invoices were received on 3rd of April 2021 and therefore those were not recorded in the financial statements for the year ended 31st of March 2021. So what he should do, what Miss Angi should do regarding this Nishi Sunflower Seeds Limited is, she need to check whether the goods have been received within the, before the end of the financial year. Only then she is able to identify whether the same is falling into the current year or next year. Okay. Miss Angi took the samples to verify trade payable balances which covered 30% of population. During the audit, she came across 2 errors amounting to 12 lakhs. That is, 4 lakhs was due to one invoice not being recorded due to the weak inefficient control mechanism, and 8 lakhs error was made by Mr. Samyak, an executive who came to a temporary replacement for a week in the place of Ms. Hatavi, who is a permanent accountant for the year. The mistake was clerical in nature. So this person who has been employed temporarily has done some clerical mistake amounting to 8 lakhs, and this 4 lakhs was not recorded due to some inefficient internal control system. So based on the above facts, answer the following questions. We'll go through each and every question. Question number 25.1. Which items should Ms. Angi select for testing so as to get the samples on which vendor balance reconciliations can be performed? So this we have discussed while going through the case study only. So 2, 3 and 4 has to be done. Because if anyway the external confirmation balances which are agreeing with the general ledger balance, there is no query regarding them. So there is no disagreement. If there is no disagreement between the balances, then why do you need to perform any additional procedures? So what Miss Angi should select is vendors with high balances and the balances, all the balances of vendors as at the year end. So 2, 3 and 4, which is coming to option B. Therefore, the correct option for this question is option B. Question number 25.2. How can Ms. Angi audit the operating effectiveness of internal control around the accounting of accounts payable? How do you check whether a proper invoice has been accounted for in accordance with the accounting principles? What do? You will input a fake invoice into it and you will check whether that fake invoice is operated effectively and in accordance with the accounting principles or not. This is the only one that you can do. But by going through the options, you will understand that all these options look familiar and all these options are correct. But the question is asking, how do you account for these trade payables and how do you assess the effectiveness of accounting of trade payables? So it is dealing with the accounting of trade payables. So you will input a fake invoice and check whether that fake invoice is processed effectively or not. So I'm once again reading the question. How can Ms. Angi audit the operating effectiveness of internal control around the accounting of trade payables? So it is dealing with the accounting aspect. So we'll input a fake invoice and check the results. It is not like all invoices were processed and now you are recalculating it, reperforming some procedures, checking whether something is correct or not. No, the question is not asking the effectiveness of outcomes. It is asking the effectiveness of accounting process that is going on. So the option is option C, input a fake purchase invoice into the client system to see if it is processed accurately. So option C is the correct option, but still check out the other options. Option A is speaking about recalculating of aging of trade payables. This is done only after the invoices are processed. But the question is about accounting, whether accounting is done properly or not. Therefore, this particular option doesn't come into picture. And the second option is select samples from the supplier balance based on the scientific random sampling and verify the third party evidence. Even this will come. This is like an balanced reconfirmations. So even balanced reconfirmations will come into picture only after processing of invoices. There is no accounting aspect involved in this particular option. Therefore, option B is also not the suitable answer for this question. Option D says calculate the trade payables days to use in an analytical procedures. No, you are here to give the perfect answer to the question. The question is particularly about the accounting of trade payables, and therefore the answer should be input a fake invoice and into the client system and see if it is accounted for accurately or not. Therefore, inputting a fake invoice will let you know whether the accounting is performed accurately or not. The option C is a perfect suitable answer for this question. Hope you are very clear with these points. All other three options also seems to be correct, but they are not actually, because the question is particularly about accounting of trade payables. And then we'll move on to the next question, question number 25.3. What are the audit procedures that Ms. Angi should perform to verify whether the payable balance of Nishi Sunflower Seeds Limited are accurately recorded in the financial statements? What it should do, whether the goods are received or not, that is the main point. If goods are received in the current financial year, that is before 31st of March 2021, then they will fall into the current financial year, even if such invoices have been received after the end of accounting period. Hope you are clear with this point. This is you can link this with events occurring after the balance sheet date, which is our Ind AS 10 from FR. Therefore, we'll go through the options and we'll finalize the one. Option A says send a confirmation to Nishi Sunflower Seeds Limited to requesting to confirm the outstanding balance as at 31st of March 2021. Even if you do this, see, the books are showing amount less, because in our books we are not considering two invoices, whereas Nishi Sunflower Seeds Limited will definitely account for those two invoices. There will definitely a misbalance between these two. So the question is like, how do you verify? What audit procedures should be performed to verify the payable balances? So option A is wrong. Option B says verify the bank payments for the period of 31st of March for any evidence of payment of invoice. No, how will you verify post 31st of March? Suppose the credit period given to you is of 100 days. Then how will you verify? You will verify till 100 days? No. What you need to verify is whether the balance as per the external confirmation received is correct or not. How will you verify that? You will verify whether the invoice is received within the time, or even if the invoice is not received within the time, you will check out whether there is any goods received note, that is a GRN from the stores department, whether such goods are received on or before 31st of March or not. Only then such purchase will fall into the current year, and therefore the balances will automatically be rectified. Okay. Option C says review the listing of purchase order to confirm whether it pertains to the current year or it pertains to the next financial year. Even if sometimes the company, what it will do is, it will raise a purchase order in the current year, but it will receive goods and also the invoice in the subsequent year. That doesn't mean there is an obligation or an event that is occurring after the balance sheet date which has a material effect. No, if you have received goods and you have not received any invoices, then there exists an obligation as on the date of balance sheet. Then it will come into an adjusting event point of view, that is Ind AS 10. Therefore, even option C is wrong. Sometimes companies will raise a purchase order before the year end, but it will receive goods and the invoices after the year end. In such a case, it will fall into the next financial year. Just because purchase order is placed in the current year, that doesn't mean that such purchase is relating to the current financial year. Hope you are clear with this point. Option D says inspect the goods received note to determine the date of receipt of raw material. Suppose if the date of receipt of raw material is within the current year, then there exists an obligation as at the date of the balance sheet. Therefore, such balances has to be adjusted in the current year itself. And if suppose that goods have been received after the balance sheet date, in such a case, then it will fall into the next financial year, because even the invoices were not received in the current financial year. Therefore, option D is the correct option. We'll go through the next question, question number 25.4. What would be the proper course of action to be taken by Ms. Angi for two accounting errors? Two errors amounting to 4 lakhs and 8 lakhs in the given scenario. What Ms. Angi should do? She should verify the impact of these things on the financial statements, and she should also verify the other areas, other similar invoices which were, she should increase her scope of verification. Okay, we'll go through the options. Option A says the total amount of error is below the materiality and therefore it should not be considered and further work upon. So that doesn't mean if you have set a materiality level which is above the errors that you have found, then you need to recalculate or reset your materiality level. Just because 4 plus 8 is coming to 12 lakhs and it is below your materiality level of 15 lakhs, you cannot say that 12 lakhs is to be ignored. No such material effect exists. In such a case, you need to recalculate your materiality level. Therefore, option A is wrong. You cannot ignore such two invoices. Option B says Miss Angi should ask Sankalp Edible Oil Limited to adjust 12 lakhs in the payable balance and rectify the same. Yes, obviously auditor will ask the client to verify, to adjust those things and rectify the same. But still, what was the question? What was the proper course of action for the auditor? Just because giving a suggestion or asking the client to adjust those balances does not mitigate your responsibility to evaluate all other invoices or all other verification procedures. Okay. Option B seems to be correct, but it is not so. Option C says different set of samples representing the same amount should be selected to check whether same errors were getting repeated. If it is not, then observation should be waived off. No, it is not particular. It is saying that samples has to be selected having the same invoice value. Who will know that an invoice of 15 lakhs or 16 lakhs has not been recorded in the books? So it is not correct. Evaluating a set of samples is correct, but evaluating a set of samples with the same invoice value is not correct. Okay. Therefore, option C is also not correct. Option D says the impact of errors noted in the audit of samples, that is test of details, should be projected and extrapolated across the whole population. That is what we have discussed. If there is any issue that you have identified, then you cannot say that my materiality level is above this total errors that I have identified and I will stop it here because the materiality levels is much higher. You need to recalculate your materiality level. You need to extend your scope of verification also. Therefore, option D is the correct option. With this, we have completed our next case study number 25. Hope these videos are helpful to you. If you like these videos, please do like, share and subscribe. And if you have any doubts regarding any particular point, as these videos are already recorded, please do comment below stating the question number and the page number. Please don't refer to the minutes that was gone through in the suppose you have a doubt at 4th minute of the video. Please don't comment like that. It will be difficult for me to revisit the video and check it out. Please do comment like page number and the question number so that it will be easy for me to identify your issue and address the same. That's all for today. If you have any doubts, please comment below. Please do share with your friends and help them to revise at the earliest. Thanks for watching.